benefit. You know, in Parliament, even if we wanted to change anything, any regulations or laws regarding the benefits and welfare of the members, the sitting Parliament who do that then are not allowed to be beneficiaries. And therefore, were we even to change the constitution and put in the provisions of a prime minister, my honest view is that Uhuru Kenyatta cannot then be allowed and should not agree to be drawn into that arena where then he would be a candidate. We cannot go the 1992 route. When we changed the Section 2A, we failed to also determine whether President Moi should run or not, and we left it open. If then Kenyans were to go that route of changing the constitution, we must also proscribe, we must also reject and put a provision that will bar a president who has served for this period from running for any office that has executive powers or otherwise of this country. Otherwise, Kenyans will have worked tirelessly in vain during the clamor for democracy and multi-party freedom. And definitely, if this country then goes the route of thinking the Murathe way, then this particular year will be harder than 2019, even as we wish Kenyans a better year, because the agenda for 2020 seemed to have been set by Atwori, by Murathe, by Beth Mogo. Why would then the president not take off with an agenda for economic sparring of the country? Why can't we even put aside the BBI? So far, it has produced nothing. And you know, many of us actually agreed to support it when the report came. But it was returned back. And I mean, Kenyans are confused up to now why it was returned back. And for me, I think we should now actually just leave it completely and abandon it. Because if you think you have made a mistake, you don't have to dwell in the mistake. You don't have to live in the mistake. I also want to tell Kenyans that the biggest existential threat to Kenya's declining economy and democracy and freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of political affiliation and growth is Uhuru Kenyatta, because he is on the driver's seat. And what he inherited from Kibaki was a rich democracy. Raila Odinga is his new political machinery for hire. And the BBI itself, the BBI process, the BBI report as expected, the BBI is the special purpose vehicle, SPU, the special purpose vehicle, heading to the route that has been suggested by Murathe, Atwori, and Beth Mogo. And I'm sure Kenyans must be thinking Murathe is dreaming. No, I don't think Murathe is dreaming. I don't think Atwori is speaking from nowhere. I don't think Beth Mogo, who is a close relative of Uhuru Kenyatta, is also speaking from nowhere. When we made our constitution and put provisions of a term limit, we did not put the limit of age, because we expected that even at 70, if Kenyans want you to be their leader, then you'll be elected. But we did not also say that the qualification for you to stay is your age. And therefore, the suggestions that Uhuru Kenyatta, because he's young, is going nowhere, is actually an insult and an abuse to the intelligence of Kenyans. Even though the person saying may be expressing their opinions and views, I think His Excellency, who we respect a lot, Uhuru Kenyatta, should actually respond to some of those issues, because were they coming from just anywhere, then maybe Kenyans would not give them attention. But they are coming from persons who have closely been associated with the head of state. And therefore, for me, it is a concern. should we allow an executive who has served, a president who has served for 10 years, then be the maiden to actually change the constitution? For I know that calls are coming, meetings have been held to determine or decide what should happen to me or what should be done to me because of a few statements that I have made, maybe like the one I have made, or like the one I made during the burial of Rubia. You know, it would be very bad if in a burial of Charles Rubia, you do not speak to the space of democracy, to the freedom of speech, to the freedom of political affiliation, political choices. Knowing that, of course, choices have consequences, no problem. But Kenyans must have their choice to follow their thoughts, their mind, their political affiliations without any fear of reprisal or intimidation. And that's what I meant. And I'm glad that His Excellency the President responded to me and said he will guarantee, he will not guarantee, he will actually ensure that his government is going to promote and guard the political and democratic space that we have achieved so far. But I hope that also goes with the deeds. I know since then, 1 or 2 people have already been assigned, and they have told me they have been assigned to fight me politically. And there have even been a candidate or candidates have been identified to fight me politically. And I made just a very innocent and meaningful statement. And Lily, if you cannot say that during the burial of Rubia, then I think then even going for that burial would be an action in vain. We even need to compensate the families on behalf of the departed.